Okay, the title is technically a lie, but also not. Hello everyone, this is VGMaster2, and another month, another Schrodinger's Pokemon news? Now there wasn't really anything for the DLC, not officially. But there was official news, and some of it is relevant to Scarlet and Violet. So let's get into it. First, I do want to take the time to focus on sales because the new ones dropped. Earlier this month, the sales of some of the more recent games up to March 31st released. Something interesting to note is that they are, seemingly, no longer keeping track of any games pre-Sword and Shield, as well as still not giving us any more numbers for Budspa. Take from that what you will. So, last time, Sword and Shield were at 25.5 million. As of March 31st, they still have not made it to 26 million. It seems they're finally dying. Legends Arceus was at 14.5 million. Currently, it still has not made 15 million. I guess it's also dead. Finally, it was previously revealed that Scarlet and Violet had made a miraculous 20 million by December 31st from November 18th. This was fucking massive, and if that trajectory continued, we could be looking at the highest-selling Pokemon game in all of the franchise's history. And as of March 31st, Scarlet and Violet are at 22 million. Huh, that's interesting, and also potentially concerning for the company. I'm perfectly fine if people decide not to buy Pokemon Company's garbage. But, for whatever reason, this game has seemed to completely hit the wall. I guess most of those sales were from pre-orders from people who didn't care that the game looked shit, but then the game came out and everyone realized it ran like shit. Wouldn't surprise me. Though I wonder, is this counting copies that were sold but then refunded? Because those copies were sold, but then they were returned and the buyers got their money back. Does that initial sale count? Just how much are they fudging all of these numbers? I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, speaking of Scarlet and Violet, there was a new patch announced May 17th that was supposed to release sometime between May 22nd and 26th, and ended up coming out late on the 24th, my time. It's supposed to do something. I don't even know. It was only released because apparently there's a bug. Yeah, a bug in this game? No way. And some shit for an Asian tournament. Apparently, fuck the rest of the world and fuck the rest of the game. And they still expect us to pay an increased price for the DLC. And most people will still probably do it. At least the FNAF DLC is supposed to be free. I would have said we have zero info on that after almost a whole last year, but then they decided to drop a trailer. Great fucking timing. Funnily enough, the color scheme for Ruin appears to be red and purple. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Even though Scarlet and Violet really do basically be Pokemon Security Breach. Somehow even more so than Budspa. And that was a fucking mess. Damn, FNAF fans really do be having the time of their lives this month, especially after the PlayStation Showcase. Even though they still have a broken game that they still haven't fixed, and the DLC for that game, sounds familiar. And Pokemon fans be molding. If either of those communities weren't so fucking brain dead, I would give more than 0 fucks. But why are Pokemon fans molding exactly? Well, before the patch happened, another thing that required a patch occurred. Because, during the Paradox Donphan raids, upon defeating the Pokemon, the loot table would display a non-existent item with the placeholder text none, and then straight up crash the game. My god, this game is the gift that keeps on giving. Or is it more taking? Can't tell anymore. Due to this, all events, even the repeat of the functional Chestnut event, and future events have been indefinitely postponed. Fucking amazing. In other news, holy shit! They finally decided to release the Pokemon Home garbage. All across May there were a fuck ton of leaks for it. and they decided to release it May 23rd or 24th, depending on where you live. Which I guess is technically still early 2023, so they can count themselves fucking lucky. Is what I would say if they didn't decide to change their fucking minds! Holy fucking shit, this is a gold mine. I am glad I'm making this video. Cause if you couldn't tell, I wasn't going to do one until there was more official Scarlet and Violet info. But this shit is great. So they announced on May 18th that it was going to release May 23rd. But then the literal next day, they basically said, lol JK. They said the announcement was erroneous, or at least the date. Which, how? I'm assuming that they decided to back off after the raid bullshit. Or, Ilka discovered an even worse bug in Home itself at the last minute and only now reported it. And Pokemon Company decided it didn't want to get in deeper shit for the moment. Or it's somehow another fucking bug in Scarlet and Violet. Could be anything, really. But it doesn't really matter because all the information was already given, and at least that can't be taken. And basically, every leak was true. There's going to be a special giveaway of the Paldea starters, there's going to be a move relearner, and there's going to be backwards compatibility, where you can take a Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet and put it in the previous games. Except Let's Go. Fuck Let's Go, apparently, although I agree. If that Pokemon exists in one, even though every Pokemon should exist in every game, bar the Gen 9 ones and Gen 8, for obvious reasons. This means you can now legally transfer the following Pokemon into Scarlet and Violet. Non-raid Charmander line. All 5 Kanto legendaries, including the Galaran versions of the birds. Non-raid Typhlosion line plus Hisuian Typhlosion. The Weather Trio. The Creation Quartet. Heatran and Cresselia. Non-raid Oshawott line plus Hisuian Samurott. The Genie Quartet. Meloetta. Non-raid Chespin and Greninja lines. Fennekin line. Carbink and all 3 Kalos legendaries under the classification of mythical. Non-raid Rowlet line plus Hisuian Decidueye, Magearna including original form Magearna, Grookey line, non-raid Scorbunny and Sobble lines, all Gen 8 legendaries including Zarude's Dada form, all new Pokemon introduced in Legends Arceus, all Ash-capped Pikachus, Alolan Raichu, Alolan Diglett and Meowth lines, both Galaran Slowpoke lines, Alolan Grimer line, Hisuian Voltorb line, Kanto and Tauros, all other Hisuian variants including White Stripe Basculin, Pokeball pattern Vivillon, and finally, roaming form Gimmighoul. I mean, those are the Pokemon you will be able to transfer when it actually comes out. Eventually. Or maybe never, who fucking knows at this point? It's really funny that people are surprised. I mean, this is actually quite possibly a whole new low for them, for Pokemon Company, but I'm not necessarily surprised. I'm not surprised when I've been saying that shit company is shit for over half a decade. That shit company is shit. I've known for a long time. I'm used to this. This is a comedy, motherfuckers. Par for the fucking course. I just can't wait to see where we go from here. Is it actually possible we make it any worse? I want to see Pokemon Company try. I want to see just how much they have to do to finally get the community to break. How much more abuse can these motherfuckers take before they finally snap? And I'll just be over here eating popcorn. I mean, this is just what everyone gets. I guess almost a decade of dicking around has finally caught up to Pokemon. It's not my fault that I was trying to warn everyone while they were sitting on their asses being complacent sheep. So while everyone else is pissed, I'm just gonna laugh. And just want to let you guys know that I finalized this script on the 25th of May, so I could actually get this video out before the month ended. So if anything happens between then and the day I finish editing this bitch, info on screen now. But that is currently all I have for you. No actual information on Scarlet and Violet that isn't just sales or bullshit. Which shouldn't come as a surprise, but it's still really funny. People are worried that all of this is going to mean a delay for the DLC. I'm not. I mean, did you see the state Scarlet and Violet was released in? Clearly, they don't care if that motherfucker is rushed. And if this shit is any indication, Their bug testing is so ass, they probably won't even catch any glitches until it is released, and a bunch more people lose their save files. So I still believe the dates I theorized, mid to late August and November 17th for Teal Mask and Indigo Disc respectively, still hold up. Now, people have been saying that Nintendo is not going to have a June Nintendo Direct, which, while incredibly retarded, is understandable. Because, like I said in my last Nintendo Direct video, when presented with the opportunity to do a non-E3 June Nintendo Direct last year, they didn't. Which basically sets the precedent that they won't. However, Pokemon itself does have a history of doing their own presentation in June, and by that I mean they did it twice, which was actually the bullshit split between the main presents with all the information and the one they revealed their CCP bullshit in. But the main one did include info for Sword and Shield's DLC, and given how there is absolutely a lot of stuff to show off, I mean, fuck, they haven't even showed us any gameplay, I think it's safe to say that we're finally going to start getting some info on this bitch next month. Especially if Teal Mask is releasing in August. And regardless, they should at least be giving us the release date for that, if not both of them. If they want to make it up to their consumers, that's the least they can do. Here's hoping, even though there's no point because they probably won't. But that is everything I have to say. So with that, I'm VGMaster2, and I hope to see you next time.